How's it going, everyone? And welcome to Chapter 2 of the story of Aeternum, a series in which I'll take you all along with me on a cinematic journey to the main story quest of New World, so you can get all of the lore without having to level up another character. But before we get into Chapter 2, please consider giving the video a like, and subscribing to the channel with notifications on, so you'll be notified when each chapter goes live. Now, let's dive in. Chapter 2, Welcome to Prydwen. I was greeted by a man named Sir Payne Bennett, who welcomed me to what he claimed to be the greatest kingdom on Aeternum, Prydwen. I went on to fill him in on what had occurred down on the beaches with the corrupted, which seemed to really worry him. Apparently, things haven't been going very well for the people of Prydwen either lately, and to make matters worse, all of this trouble has been occurring on the eve of the most fortuitous occasion Prydwen's known in 400 years, the return of the true heir, Sir Gawain. Sir Gawain has been gone for centuries, and is finally returning to claim the throne of High King Artorius, restoring Prydwen's kingdom status from its current regency. Until his return though, Knight Regent Jinjae is still in charge of the town, and Sir Payne asked that I go meet with her to fill her in on the events that had taken place on the beach. He was also gracious enough to offer me a room at the local inn, Regent's Rise, free of charge, and mentioned that someone who sounded a lot like Grace O'Malley recently checked in there as well. So I had a lot to do. I was to check in at the inn, see if I could find Grace, and meet with the Knight Regent Jinjae. But first things first, I had to find this inn Sir Payne told me about. As I entered the town walls, I was stunned by how beautiful and modern this settlement was. All of the buildings were made out of stone, with color-coded roofs, and heaps of other survivors roamed the streets. I continued along the main path until I reached the town center, and from there, I saw the Regent's Rise Inn. I checked in with the lovely innkeeper Demetrius Batone, before deciding that after everything I'd been through recently, it'd be best if I get some shut-eye before I did anything else, to regain my strength. After some well-deserved rest, I tracked down Grace O'Malley, who luckily enough, was also staying at the Regent's Rise. We exchanged pleasantries before she'd go on to inform me that she managed to sell the loot we'd scavenged on the beaches, and gave me my share of it. It's good to know that she's a woman of her word if we were going to continue working together in the future. I wanted to have a look around the town though, to familiarize myself with my surroundings, so I bid farewell to Grace, promising to catch up with her later at the tavern, and went on my way. The town was a lot more developed than I was expecting. There was a trading post where you could buy and sell items you come across, a storage facility to hold your items of value that you wanted to keep, and even artisan stations, where you could create whatever it was your heart desired. After spending some time around the town, and getting familiar with everything within it, I decided it was a good time to head on over to the tavern to meet back up with Grace. I arrived just in time too, as I managed to catch the end of a musical performance performed by some of the residents of Prydwen. They were extremely talented, singing songs about their adventures on Aeternum. I've dabbled with music in the past a bit, but I was nowhere near the level of these people. After the show was over though, I caught back up with Grace, who filled me in on all of the town's gossip over a couple of pints. Apparently, as of late, the Knight Regent is in charge of Prydwen, but some believe her to just be a puppet, with Minister Lochner being the actual person running things, until the true heir Gawain returns. Meanwhile, the town continues to get fuller and fuller by the day, as people are fleeing to it from the outlying farms due to some kind of plague. People out there are turning on their friends and neighbors with cold murder in their eyes, although they don't have the red eyes or other characteristics of the corrupted that we ran into on the beach, so this has to be something entirely different. It was worrying times for Prydwen, but I couldn't spend all day in the tavern. I still needed to meet up with the Knight Regent and give her my report, so I headed on off in the direction of the keep. As I approached the keep, I was left in awe by the sheer size of it. This building was truly an architectural masterpiece, the long red carpet stretching across the room, from the entrance to a royal-looking throne that sat empty. Beside the throne, I could see two people locked in deep debate, so I waited patiently to make my introduction.
The farmers, the knights, the miners, no word in days. We need to know what's going on out there, Lochner.
The people are simply distracted. Word has spread of the true heir's return. As acting regent, you have served Prydwen faithfully, and I'm sure this is unsettling for you. But you can set aside your concerns.
When the new king is ready to assume his duties, I will gladly stand down. But not before.
Of course. Now, I have preparations to attend to.
Eventually though, their conversation ended as the man left the keep, and I made my way up to the woman I assumed would be Knight Regent Jinjae. I filled her in on what had occurred with the corrupted on the beach, which just seemed to stress her out even further. She went on to inform me of all the trouble that was plaguing Prydwen at the moment, confirming a lot of the rumors Grace told me about, but she was particularly worried about the rash of disappearances of several sworn knights, who haven't reported in for several weeks now. Scouts were sent to find out more information, but they too have gone missing. Lochner, the Minister of Prydwen, believes patience is the best plan of action, and that the return of the royal bloodline will solve all of the problems the town has. But Jinjay feels strongly that they cannot afford to wait for Gawain to return. From what I saw on the beach, with how fast corruption can spread, I have to agree with Jinjay. Some problems can only be solved with urgent action, so I offered my services to her. She was reluctant to take me up on my offer at first, but due to how little nights she had left, she agreed, and sent me off in the direction of a nearby mine that hasn't been heard of in over a month. But before I headed out, she asked that I inform Minister Lochner of my mission, just to keep him in the loop. So I headed to the town center, where I'd hoped to find him, and sure enough, there he was. He didn't seem too pleased with our plan, but I went on anyways. It was a long journey to the mine, but eventually, I could see it coming up in the distance. As I got closer, I could hear a commotion coming from nearby.
Stop this! I'm your friend! After all those years in that hole together, don't make me do this! Stay back! I won't tell you again!
Finish him!
Forgive me.
Once we got the situation back under control, I approached the woman, who introduced herself as Alia Musa, the mine foreman. She went on to inform me that if I was here to visit the mine, that I should go no further, as everyone within the mine has fallen lost. When I told her that I was sent here by the Night Regent to help, she went into a frenzy. She went on to explain that at the start of the outbreak, she sent word to Prydwen for support, and after weeks of imploring Prydwen to send all the knights they can spare to support the mine before it was too late, they still received no aid. After all of that, to only send one man that wasn't even a knight, and after everyone had already fallen to the lost as well, it left her furious. I was still determined to help though, so I offered to go in and look for any survivors. After getting the lay of the land from Alia, I headed off into the mine. It was swarming with withered creatures, but I did manage to find a few survivors that still hadn't fallen to the lost. There was a lady named Tamira Dudek, a woman called Shandu Heir, and another man by the name of Shazan Cortez. Once I had set them all free and gotten them to safety, I made my way up the mountain in search of the mine supervisor, Elias Darit, who Alia believed might still be out there. I fought my way up the mountain until I finally found Elias, who was camped out on the mountainside. I told him I was here to get him out, but he refused to come with me. He was a stubborn man, still trying to find a way to reclaim the mine, even with the few numbers we had left. I managed to strike a deal with him though. If I could destroy this infernal relic that he believes caused all of this to happen, then he would come with me back to safety. He went on to explain that while mining one day, his crew unearthed an ancient tablet. From the start, he had a bad feeling about the tablet, so he ordered everyone to not touch it. The object thrummed with unholy energy, so he planned to get Sage Moira out here to study it, but never got the chance. The morning after it was unearthed, the first miner fell to the curse, and then shortly after that, a group of lost pirates attacked the mine, no doubt in search of the same tablet. The very same lost pirates now guard the tablet like it's some kind of treasure. Ilias believes if we don't destroy the tablet, the curse will continue to spread beyond the mine, causing even more destruction. So I agreed to do it, and headed off towards the cave in which the tablet was discovered. I was to smash the tablet and collect some fragments from it for Moira to study, to see if we can get down to the root of this problem. The cave was nearby, but like Ilias mentioned, it was swarming with lost pirates. They had blocked the entrance with rubble, but luckily for me, a cannon stood nearby, so I was able to blast my way into the cave. Inside, I could see the tablet Ilias told me about, but standing over it was a large brute of a man. As I inched closer to the tablet, the man lunged at me and began attacking me ferociously. He was incredible with his blade, and it took everything within me to fend off his attacks. Eventually though, I got the upper hand in the battle and landed the final blow. I then proceeded to destroy the tablet before gathering some of its fragments. As I was collecting the fragments, I noticed just above where the tablet stood, a banner of some sorts. Perhaps this was the work of some faction. I made my way back to Ilias though, and informed him on what had occurred within the cave. He was pleased that he could finally put all of this behind him, and informed me that he was going to go meet up with Alia and try to convince her to join him in returning to Prydwen to regroup, before eventually coming back to retake the mines once again. He asked that I head back to Jinjay to inform her of what had occurred here, and give the tablet fragments to Sage Moira, so we can finally get some answers on what it is we're dealing with. But we went on to bid our farewells, agreeing to meet up at Girty's tavern for a pint when this was all over, and went our separate ways. I made the long journey back to Prydwen, and met back up with Jinjay. She was devastated to learn of the mine's fate, and swore she received no requests for aid from the mine. Perhaps Lochner can clear up this situation, so Jinjay sent me off to the town square to find him, and let him know that she needed to speak with him urgently. On the way, I could drop off the tablet fragments with Sage Moira, so she can begin studying them. So I headed out. First I met up with Moira to drop off the fragments, and boy is she a talker. She went on to give me an entire history lesson about Prydwen.
King Artorius arrived on Aeternum 700 years ago to discover a people scattered and divided. Promising order, he united southern Aeternum for the first time since the era of the Ancients. The king's rule was built upon the armor-clad shoulders of his sworn knights. Courageous Sir Gawain, fierce Sir Lancelot, and the loyal Sir Galahad. Their valor was tested when hordes of corrupted attacked from the north, guided by none other than the king's fallen advisor, the wizard Myrddin. In the wake of the conflict, King Artorius was gone. Fate unknown as the kingdom crumbled. Lancelot left seeking vengeance, and Galahad to create a new life. But Sir Gawain was heir to the throne. He departed, seeking only divine blessing for his rule. Prydwen was in a dire state, ravaged by war, its people demoralized. It was Minister Lochner who held the town together, safeguarding the throne for Gawain's return. But Sir Jinjay of Ebonscale Reach captured the hearts of the people. After so many dark years, she emerged as a beacon of hope and was appointed Knight Regent. Now the minister informs us he spotted Sir Gawain's sails on the horizon. And we prepare for the true heir to finally come home and claim his throne.
But after my history lesson with Moira, I headed on over to the town center to find Lochner. I could see a crowd of people gathering near the center, so I made my way over to it.
After so many years without our true leader, it's natural to have doubts. But I assure you, the hour draws near. The bloodline of Artorius will soon sit again upon the throne. What we have endured here pales in comparison with what challenges Gawain has faced in his long journey home. But he has persevered for you, the people of Prydwen. We must ask ourselves, how will we show, nay prove, to our new king that we are as devoted to him as he is to us? When the hour arrives, I know he will find his subjects have remained true. And we will honor him as we once honored Artorius himself! And pledge our undying loyalty.
After Lochner finished his speech and the crowd dispersed, I approached him to give him Jinjay's message. He agreed to go see her as soon as he finished his vital work on behalf of the true heir, and asked that I tell her it wouldn't be long. So I headed on back to the keep to inform Jinjay of Lochner's response, which didn't surprise her at all. She went on to inform me that Foreman Musa had visited her since I was gone, to inform her of what had happened at the mine. These lost pirates that attacked the mine could only have come from one place, Brycehead Shore, to the north. There was a den of brigands there, and now, apparently they have fallen lost. Jinjay is alarmed by how many people are falling lost as of late, and is determined to find the cause of it. Sir Payne has already been dispatched to the north to investigate, but with my help, maybe we can deter the pirates from further incursions, and possibly even discover what it is that drives them onwards. So that was the plan. I was to meet up with Sir Payne and put an end to this lost pirate problem. But that brings an end to Chapter 2 of the story of Aeternum. These videos take a massive amount of work to put together, so if you enjoyed it, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel with notifications on so be notified when Chapter 3 goes live. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video, and a massive shout out to all the channel members and patrons seen on screen now who keep the channel going. Links on how to become one in the video description. If you'd like to watch Chapter 3 of this series, if it's available, click on the video to the left. Or, if you'd like to see me host a transmog contest with fellow New World content creators as the participants and judges, click on the video to the right.